Plaintiffs Doug Cash and his wife Heather say 5 years after Doug divorced the defendant, he and Heather realized she was cyber stalking them, so they had her arrested. They're suing Doug's ex-wife today for breach of contract. Defendant Kelly Cash says while Doug was stationed overseas, Heather kept Kelly's son from her, and then she had Kelly arrested for computer trespassing. Kelly claims the criminal charges were dropped, and she insists they're suing for more than she owes.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, sir, the defendant is my ex-wife. We were married from April of 1995 to about January 2005, where she left on the 4th of January. We had it out over some lies, and we just decided we had some irreconcilable differences, and we were just going to call it quits. And that was the day she actually left the house.
How often were you lying?
Oh, it wasn't me, sir.
It wasn't you?
No, sir.
Okay, how long were you lying? Y'all were married for 10 years. How many years were you lying?
It was pretty recent.
Oh, you only lied the last year?
Yes. Yes, sir.
How many years was he
It
lying?
was about the same.
I won't exactly agree with all of that, sir. There was some lies months after we got married in 1995.
So you started in 95?
No, sir.
Oh, it was her that started.
Yes.
Did you start in 95 or not?
There was an incident back when we first got married.
All right, because I promise you, somebody's going to disagree with this lawsuit today. The facts, right? That's why I wanted to see who was the liar. And I wanted to see who was lying the longest. So if I have to decide by testimony, it's likely to go against the person who's been lying the longest. So you're already in the hole. All right, you all divorced in 2005.
And I thought we had a pretty good relationship up till about May of 2010. Through a big, huge series of events, we realized that she was like cyber stalking us. She had access internally
Cyber stalking
That's
you
a
in what
lie.
way?
I didn't even notice it until when I found out that my son at the time, who was 13, had a MySpace account, which wasn't a big deal, but some of the young ladies in his friends list were talking about cutting and suicidal tendencies. So I went through his email. I asked him, do you have any more social networking sites? I really need to get to the bottom of this. And I found out that he had also built profiles on several pornographic websites at 13, saying that he was a full-grown man.
How was she cyber stalking you?
This is how it came to be, sir. This is how I found out, because I contacted her, texted her right away and let her know what happened, because everything got built on one night while she had visitation. And when we got done talking, I went back, the MySpace was already deleted.
Okay.
So we looked through our son's email to find out it was deleted like 7:30, and I didn't even contact her until after 8 o'clock. For 2 days, she told us that she deleted the MySpace account. It's not even possible if I called her at 8.
How did she stalk you? What did she do to you? Sounds like all I'm hearing, she deleted the MySpace of her son. Stalking means she did something to your site.
Plaintiffs Heather Cash and her husband Doug are suing Doug's ex-wife, who they claim they had arrested for cyber stalking them.
You want to give me some background?
Absolutely, Your Honor. First of all these allegations are false. When we originally separated, it seemed amicable. It seemed like we were able to communicate. I never thought it would get to a point like this.
When did the problems begin?
The first problem that began, because there was many, was my ex-husband. He went out to sea per his military service, and I had always been able to see my son regularly. He was all of a sudden being kept from me. 2 months after that began, I came home and found an arrest warrant pasted to my door.
For what?
For the actual charge was a computer trespass.
What was the final disposition?
The case was dropped.
Okay.
It was dropped because I would not allow
That's
my
whatever
son
it
to
was.
testify.
Go ahead. What else?
Okay.
And by the way, that's not stalking. That's trespassing. Two different things. Go ahead.
Okay. So during this time, I had a no contact bond issued. So all this time from May until the next year, actually January, I was unable to see my son. At the end of the year, I had to leave the state. And when I came back, we went through the custody hearing. I had filed for custody.
Why did you need a custody hearing to see your son in this case?
There's no other way.
No, you were being denied, and that's
Yes.
why I heard you say that earlier. That
Yes, I was being denied
it was being
visitation.
inhibited, but I didn't know it was being denied to the extent that you had to file for a custody hearing.
That's correct.
Incur legal
Yes.
fees. Good
Your Honor,
enough.
could I say
Let's
something?
get to the breach of
reason she was
contract
denied
you're
custody was
suing.
because
Sir,
of the
do you
courthouse.
want to get to the breach of contract
Yes,
or
I do.
not?
I do. I'm sorry.
Very good. What is that for?
She was supposed to sign a quit claim deed resolving her rights to the house that she signed in the marriage separation agreement, which I have. She did not sign the quit claim deed, and shortly thereafter, there was a lien placed on my home for $1,600 solely in her name, her debt. It was because the quit claim deed didn't get signed in a timely manner. I had to fill out the quit claim deed 2 days before I left for a 6-month deployment and call her and say, could you
Let me
please
see
just
your
meet me at the
divorce
notary?
decree, sir, or your separation agreement.
The divorce decree.
Go ahead.
I've let her know that there was a $1,600 lien placed on the house. It was in her name. She knew what it was for. She signed the quit claim deed and got it notarized with me, as well as filling out the promissory note for the $1,600. All I asked was for $75 a month for 2 years, and it would have been paid off. For the first 15 months, she didn't make a payment at all. And then when she did, it was sporadic at best. She only made 5 payments. And the only reason I brought up all that stuff before about the computers was because as soon as that happened, she never made another payment or another attempt.
All right. This says that you all are to incur obligations that were solely in your name prior to the divorce. Very good. And do you believe at any point that you owed $1,600 pursuant to the judge's order that you each pay the liabilities that were in your names at the time of the divorce?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, $1,600. So what is your defense today?
My defense was I had been making payments on it until I had a no contact order put on me, a no contact
That stops
bonds.
the mail from being delivered?
Your Honor, I wasn't allowed to have anything through mail or any electronic or in person or with the house at all.
Really?
Yes.
Did you go to the hearing?
No, sir, I was away on deployment when that happened.
No one contested the fact that she can't send a check?
No, sir, I don't think
No
the
one
mail
said,
was...
Your Honor, I know you say she can't send anything through the mail or electronically or deposit money into my account, but Judge, she owes me. Can we work something out?
I don't think the mail was...
Do you have that order?
No, I don't
Do you
have
know
the
that
order
to
with
be
me.
the case?
I mean, I know that there was no contact and no phone and no computer contact.
Nothing about mail.
I don't think mail was ever discussed.
I got to get one of those for my mortgage.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a good point. Call on my, go and get me a no contact order for all my bill collectors. For all the financial commitments I have. That's odd. Because certainly you can't bring it to them. You can't even transfer it from your bank to theirs electronically. And you say you can't stick it in the mail.
The magistrate told me to stay away in any way, shape, or form, not to have
That's
any
a
kind of
good-
contact.
That's a good way to get out of there. Has that expired, or are we breaking the law today?
No, the no contact bond is done. I'm no longer on
Okay,
bond.
so you can pay them now.
Yes.
Plaintiffs Heather Cash and her husband Doug are suing Doug's ex-wife, who they claim they had arrested for cyberstalking them.
All right, and how much do you agree you owe? They say $982. What do you say?
Basically, by my estimate, it's right around $275.
How do you come to your estimate?
Based on ATM withdrawals near their house, I don't use cash for anything. I only withdraw cash and then I go straight to pick up my son, and that's usually when the transaction takes place.
And what do you all say about the amount she paid?
Every time she gave me cash, I wrote it down in a log and kept it. And every time she gave me money, I'd ask. I said, would you like me to make you a copy of the log since I had a
Let's see it,
photocopier?
please.
And she said, no, I trust you. And so I
Ma'am,
kept
did
my
she
log.
ever ask if you wanted
Yes,
her
Your
to-
Honor.
What did you say?
I trusted them.
Well, then you're going to have to trust them today that they have it right. I mean, why would you do that, ma'am? She offered to give you what amounted to receipts, and you refused it. But yet she has it available. It was available for you to get, and you didn't. So I got to rely on it. Because if it's available, if a person says, I'll give you a receipt, that means that they're being honest. Person's not going to give you a receipt that doesn't say what you know it should be. You follow me?
Absolutely.
So I got to rely on this. I believe him, ma'am. $982 is your judgment. I believe you based on the fact that she refused to accept a receipt, and I'm going to rely on that document because I don't think that you would attempt to issue a person a receipt fraudulently immediately after making the financial exchange. Judgment for the plaintiff, ma'am. You should have gotten that receipt. Don't trust the man. He lied to you last year. All right, have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
She had every opportunity to go and get a third-party person to make the contact. She chose not to, and it wasn't my job to go and look for somebody to be that intermediary.
I wasn't allowed to have a third party. Anybody that I trusted enough with my son was turned down by the plaintiff.
I think I got portrayed to be a bad guy, that we withheld visitation, but that wasn't accurate at all. The court said no contact.